Hello, this is NW97 for another Destiny video. Today, we're going to try to figure out if the speaker is a guardian. Well, just by looking at 2 seconds at him, I see that there's a ghost near him, therefore, he's a guardian. Besides jokes, the real subject of this video is going to be the last breakdown of our series with the subclasses. So therefore, we're going to do the Stormcaller. And look how beautiful that view is. Anyway, let's get started. So as usual, I'm going to give you the breakdown of all the perks, and I'm going to give you recommendations of all of the exotics that will work well with this subclass. Starting with grenades, you have Pulse Grenade, a grenade that periodically damages enemies inside its explosion radius. This is a lot like this is exactly like the Pulse Grenade from the Titan subclass, which is exactly the same. It's kind of like the Lightning Grenade, like it pulses, but only thing is it does less damage and it has more, it's like 360 instead of shooting out from like 1 point. So, you know, this grenade is very, very situational. And honestly, the other 2 grenades are a lot better, and I like one of the other grenades a lot better. Storm Grenade, a grenade that calls down a focused lightning storm. This grenade is both really good for both PvE and PvP. For PvE, because, you know, if there's a whole bunch of enemies in one spot and you throw a grenade, it'll do lots of damage around them. In PvP, the Storm Grenade has the ability every once in a while to kill an enemy in basically with 1 grenade. But it's not guaranteed though. But it is a good grenade to use if you were using a pulse rifle. Like if you throw this Storm Grenade and then you start shooting at the enemy, then it's basically a kill. Very good for crowd control. Very good, you know, to just keep enemies like away in a certain area, and it's really fun. And I really like this grenade. Also, some of the perks some of the perks in this subclass actually works well with this grenade. And then you have Arc Bolt Grenade, a grenade that chains bolts of lightning to nearby enemies. This is very similar to the Firebolt Grenade from the Sunsinger, and also this is the exact same grenade that's used inside the Hunter subclass of the Blade Dancer. Back in year 1, the Arc Bolt Grenade was probably the best grenade, but then Bungie decided to nerf the Arc Bolt, so everyone uses skip grenades with the Hunter now. Arc Bolt, it's still good. Actually, like I said before, you know, the Stormcaller does have perks that works well with grenades and certain abilities, like its melee, to do extra stuff. But Storm Grenade, I probably recommend for both PvE and PvP. Some people like this grenade more than Storm Grenade, but, you know, I like Storm Grenade better. Okay, starting with the jump. The jump is exactly how it is with the Sunsinger. So, you know, you have glide. You glide if you press jump. You press the X button twice. I wish you do like a long distance glide instead of like a little short boost instead of a Titan. So you get a glide and you can like basically glide to like one point to another, which is really handy sometimes. Okay, so the first perk is focus control, upgrades glide for better directional control while in the air. Last time I checked, I'd never seen anyone use this because the other 2 are a lot better. So anyway, next one is focus burst. Upgrades glide to provide an initial burst of speed. For PvP, I recommend this because you could move faster while jumping right away, which is very good for certain situations because sometimes this jump could save you from getting smashed with Fists of Havoc, being Nova Bombed from using the Nova Bomb, or just trying to get away from a Blade Dancer trying to kill you. But it's not very guaranteed, but you know, you want to move as fast as you can by trying to retreat or go into a certain position trying to shotgun somebody or something like that. And then you have balanced glide. Upgrades glide to provide bonuses for both speed and control. This is basically focus burst and focus control all together. But it's not as good as it's not both of the jumps at the same time. It's set up where you both get control and a burst at the same time, which is kind of like 50-50, I guess. 50% is focus control, 50%, the rest of it is focus burst. Anyway, this is actually really good for PvE, and most of the time I use this. The only reason I would change it is I'm doing PvP. But either way, you know, Focus Burst is still good with PvE. So I basically use Focus Burst the most for both PvE and PvP. Sometimes I like to mix it up with this because I like to go to little areas that I actually need extra control with parkour and stuff like that. Okay, then you have the super of this subclass, which is actually pretty fun. Storm Trance. Chain Arc Lightning from your hands. It activates pressing L2 and R2 like every super. When you activate this super, this basically makes you into like you know, a lightning monster mode, I guess you could say, and you're basically floating in the air. You have lightning coming out of your fingertips, and if you press the R1 button, then you're going to shoot lightning out of your fingertips, which is a lot like the Emperor. And sometimes when you're using this subclass and activating your super, you feel exactly like the Emperor, floating around shooting lightning out of your fingertips and burning all into your path. And that is sometimes the best fun you can ever get using the Warlock, especially in PvP. So for the bonuses for Storm Trance, you have Landfall. On casting Storm Trance, fire a bolt of lightning into the ground, casting a devastating shockwave under you. This is when you use your Storm Trance right away. It's basically a 360 explosion happening right below you. This actually is really fun using while you're up in the air using glide, and then you can activate a landfall under you, and you can basically make this little projectile go down and like destroy everything under you. This is a one-hit kill for PvP. This also blinds enemies inside PvE, which could be very handy. Honestly, landfall is really good if you honestly don't know what to choose out of the perks in this with the super. Really fun. And I probably recommend it for just most of the play, you know, either for both PvE or PvP. It's just a good perk overall. Like you can't go wrong using this. Superconductor doubles your Storm Trance lightning capabilities. It's lightning chaining capabilities. So instead of like, let's say that you're damaging like 2 thralls at the same time, right? Well, if you have this perk on, you'll be able to like shoot 4 thralls at a time while shooting lightning at them, which can be very, very good against crowds. But if you're doing it against a single opponent, then this isn't the perk for it. But the Stormcaller's job is basically crowd control in PvE. So if you're gonna be a complete crowd controlling monster with this subclass, then you know Superconductor is probably gonna be the best choice for, you know, really for most professional Stormcallers. But for PvP, don't use this because you can still kill plenty of people. PvE, yes, use this if you want to kill as much enemies as possible. Trying to go in like in one big crowd. And then you have Ionic Blink. Press L3 to teleport during Storm Trance. This is kind of like a blink when you're using Storm Trance. When you're using this makes you a lot more agile, and this makes it a lot more make it a lot harder. So you know someone could use like Fist of Havoc on you, or someone could use like, you know, a golden gun. It basically makes you more agile, more dangerous while in the battlefield. PvE, don't use it. It's worthless, basically, unless like you want to get to very sticky situations, you know. Other than that, don't use it. Superconductor is excellent for the Storm Trance. Landfall is good for blinding enemies. It's just, these two are just so good that this is even worth it. PvP, on the other hand, very good. Probably the best perk out of all of these perks inside this tree for PvP. Basically, I would recommend using this, and I'll show you why in a little bit. Now for the melee. You have Thunderstrike, delivering an electro-cutting arc melee strike at extended range. You know, for a second here, I thought it was Thunderstruck. Well, anyway, basically, this is a regular melee attack that has extended range. Like this basically answers your question on what Thunderstrike does. But the perks are probably really important for this tree line right here. So the first one is Chain Lightning. Your Thunderstrike chains to nearby enemies. Honestly, this is good for, like, you know, maybe PvE. You know, if you're going against some thralls that want to kill you and you have like 2 or 3 of them, near that one thrall, and you melee them, and you could do damage against the one guy. It's kind of like the Titan. It's kind of like the Titan melee from the Striker. That when you punch something, it does like a disruptor. Well, instead of that, it's like other Chain Lightning that connects to another opponent to that, which can be good. I think that like one hit kills a thrall if you were to do that, which could, you know, be fine. But probably the only reason why you want to use this is for PvE, maybe. Okay, then you have Amplitude. Your Thunderstrike has greater range. Basically, use this perk at all times with Thunderstrike, for PvP. This is actually the melee Thunderstrike is absolutely ridiculous. You could look up YouTube how far away that you could hit somebody with Thunderstrike. It's absolutely ridiculous. So basically go for this. This is very good if you were to use a shotgun. So you could blast one guy with a shotgun, and if he doesn't die, you could use your melee, and you're basically guaranteed to kill him, which could be very efficient. Then you have Rising Storm. Hits with Thunderstrike charges your super, ability, and melee energy. Yeah, the thing is that there's actually something wrong with this perk. So basically making rendering useless. So I do not recommend this. I know this sounds really good in paper, but other than that, it's basically useless. Don't use it. Bungie, if you're watching this, please fix this. I would love to have this perk going on and all that. So PvE, go for Chain Lightning. PvP, go for Amplitude. And these 2 trees over here are for stat changing. What I recommend is, like I said, always have armor and recovery to your highest potential, and have agility, you know, kind of like the lowest, or either, you know, just staying a little high. But I either have it like this or this. Because of this with agility is because, you know, I want to get to most places on certain areas, or kind of like want to have more control with glide. And, you know, having good glide with Warlock is pretty good. And so, you know, it doesn't matter what you choose. Everyone has their different preferences, but for me personally, I choose armor and recovery for the highest stat. Okay, for this tree right here. First, these are like your 2 extra trees that gives you bonuses for your melee, grenades, and super. And these 2 are actually really important because this is what basically makes the class. First, you have Pulse Wave. When critically wounded, trigger a pulse wave that boosts speed for you and your allies. This is good for PvE, for getting out of tough situations. Like if someone doesn't kill you fully when using their Fist of Havoc, you can get out of there right away. And I believe Pulse Wave makes it so that it gives you more speed for your you know, reloading, and doing you know, zooming in with your weapon or changing weapons and stuff like that. Not entirely sure. I'm probably going to test that and see if that's actually the case. And if that's the case, then, you know, then I'll probably show it with a video, with like a certain clip and stuff like that. Okay. Feedback. Incoming melee attacks fully recharge, intensify your Thunderstrike. This is personally my favorite out of this tree because, one, this is good for for both PvE and PvP. Because if you're in PvE, then like you have a good chance that some enemy is going to melee you, and you automatically get your Thunder Strike back, and you could chain lightning all of your enemies with this perk here. Honestly, I recommended using it at all times for PvE, and for PvP, it's actually a good perk. Then you have Transcendence. When cast with full grenade and melee energy, Storm Trance restores your health full and drains slower. This is probably the best for PvP. If you want to use your Storm Trance as long as possible and just kill everything in your path and heal yourself out of trouble, then this is probably the best perk for you. But personally, I don't like this because this kind of makes me hinder myself using storm grenades in my melee, which is really fun for both of those because you could chain lightning and stuff like that, which is really fun. So unless you love your Storm Trance, then I probably wouldn't recommend this, other than just having ultimate power mode go coursing through your veins. Okay, for the last perk you have Electrostatic Mine. Storm Trance charges faster when allies are near. When Storm Trance is active, nearby enemies take damage. This is basically two things happening right here, plus it gives you a bonus to your agility. This basically gives you a perk where it's like the Memory of Scory, which when your super is full, it charges nearby allies, charges your grenade super faster, but your super charges faster. Wrong subclass. This basically makes it so that it makes your own Storm Trance charge faster when allies are near. I believe this stacks, which can be good. So probably Trials will be good with this. This perk would probably be good with Trials and any 6v6 match. But honestly, the other perk is actually a lot better. So this is a good perk for PvP. Maybe for PvE, not sure. Don't really use this a lot, honestly. But for PvP, yeah, it's okay. Arc Web. This one's really cool. Enemies damaged by your grenades chain deadly lightning to nearby enemies. So this is why I like storm grenades so much, because not only that I could get a one-hit kill, I have a chance of getting a one-hit kill with storm grenades, I could also chain lightning through other enemies where I could damage, and I could use my pulse rifle to get double or triple kills. I love this the most out of this tree, and it's really fun to use. I highly recommend this for PvP. And then you have Perpetual Charge. Grenade kills recharge your melee, and melee kills recharge your grenade. I honestly recommend this at all times through PvE, especially if you have feedback equipped as well. You can have feedback and perpetual charge help you work with each other. So basically, you have your Thunder Strike and your grenade on your hand at all times. And plus, you might even use Transcendence if you're using perpetual charge. Honestly, for PvP, I don't recommend this. So, but for PvE, I would recommend this a lot. Okay. Now for exotic recommendations. The only subclass made exotic for the Stormcaller is the Impossible Machines, which grants you Nightfall. This is good because not only you can have Nightfall, but you could also choose Superconductor or Landfall using this, or Ionic Blink while using the Impossible Machines. The Impossible Machines are probably good for both PvE and PvP. If you want to use Ionic Blink for PvP, but you like Landfall so much, there you go. You can have Landfall and Ionic Blink at the same time, which can actually be quite deadly, honestly. You could just do a lot of damage if you know how to use this correctly. And if you're using it for PvE, then you could use Superconductor and Landfall, so you can have both of these bonuses go on with each other. Overall, a good exotic, but obviously not the best because, it doesn't mesh well with other subclasses. But, it's still good, especially if you're a Stormcaller like at all times, and you'll probably want to use this. Another good exotic is the Claws of Ahamkara, because you can instead of getting one extremely far extended range melee, you can get two extremely far extended range melees. So basically, if you own 1v1 your friends and make them completely bonkers against you, yeah, use the Claws of Ahamkara and have some fun with it. Another good recommendation is, the Obsidian Asphyx. Just because it's just a good exotic overall for both PvE and PvP. Mostly for PvP because, actually reducing time for reloading, readying your weapon and stuff like that could be very, very handy. Plus, you can have increased melee attack speed and grenade throw distance, which the Stormcaller actually uses a lot, which could be really, really, really good. Another recommendation, Void Bank Investments, because one, you could use your grenade a lot every time you die, and two, it's just a cool looking Void Bank Investments. So basically, you want this because of when you spawn a full grenade when you die, which could be very, very handy. Yeah, the Traverse steps are good for PvE, but useless for PvP. So this is basically a good exotic overall for PvE. For weapons, yeah, nothing is like really catches my eye with weapons. I guess the closest thing is Silo Supercell maybe, because you could just make a chain lightning build, I guess, for PvP. But other than that, it's probably not like really needed. Like, you can have fun with it, but I just don't really, need to have all of these, like, chain lightning going all around. Like, I could use it plenty with my subclass. Yeah, basically there's not really recommendations for weapons, honestly. You could choose your weapons anytime, and honestly you could do the same thing with armor, because the only thing you really want to use is Impossible Machines and Claws of Ahamkara. That's like my personal opinion. And maybe you'll want to have like Apotheosis Veil if you're struggling to using your Stormcaller and every time you do it you die. Well, and plus you can regain your melee and grenade, which can be good. But the thing is, if you're using Transcendence, then like half of the perk will be unnecessary, and you could regenerate your health with Transcendence anyway. Yeah, basically this helmet would probably be not good if you're not using Basically, the only reason why I use this if you want to heal yourself and you keep dying, and if you're not using Transcendence, and like so basically it's a lot of things stacking on with each other. The reason why you want to use this, all the reason is, like, one, you could activate your super while nobody's around. You can get to a corner while cover, so that basically helps your problem so using Storm Trance. And two, Transcendence is basically better because it's already built into the subclass. So I don't really recommend this, all that stuff. Okay guys, I think that is the end of this video. Yes, it is. And guess what? The speaker is still a guardian. Okay, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And comment below, since we're finished with this series, what is your favorite subclass in all of Destiny? I'm not honestly sure what my favorite class is, because, there's just, all of them are just, pretty good for both PvE and PvP. And some of them are basically made for either PvP or PvP, but it doesn't matter, you can still use them. Okay guys, thank you guys for watching, and God bless, goodbye.